We can't hear you.
I can fix that. Good evening, everybody, to the June 23rd Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting. This meeting has limited physical access due to the current limitations on public gatherings. Accommodations have been made to assure that the public is able to participate in the meeting. The public may participate in the following ways: watch the meeting on Franklin TV or the City of Franklin website, or they can watch the live stream through the City of Franklin Facebook and YouTube accounts. Or you can call into the conference meeting at 615-550-8420. Callers will be unmuted and given an opportunity to comment during the meeting at specific times. Limited viewing will be available in the lobby of City Hall to watch the live video. The public may email comments and questions prior to the meeting by 4:30 p.m. to the recorder at franklintn.gov to be read aloud. The city YouTube site is www.youtube.com/user/City of Franklin. And the Facebook Live is www.facebook.com/City of Franklin. And the city website is www.franklintn.gov/Franklin TV. This meeting is now officially called to order, and I would ask Alderman Barnhill if he would lead us in invocation. And I would also request that before he starts the invocation, that we keep the city of Brentwood, who has lost one of their police officers in a tragic accident, and is also the son of one of our own police officers. So I'd like to have a moment of silence, and then I'll ask Alderman Barnhill to lead in a prayer, and then I will do the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would join me in a moment of silence for this fallen officer. Thank you for that. Alderman Barnhill.
Would you bow with me, please? Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight in prayer. Thank you for this day and for all its many blessings. We want to thank you for this community that we live in and this nation that we live in. We know that we're in a physically and mentally trying time with the coronavirus and other issues that are going on. We ask that you be with our world leaders, our national leaders, state, local. We ask that you be with each of our first responders, the fire department, police department, those people who are on the front lines fighting the coronavirus epidemic. All of this we ask in your name, Christ's name, amen.
Amen.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I now want to call the roll. Alderman Barnhill.
Present.
Alderman Martin. Alderman Martin, are you present? I see her saying yes. Alderman Bransford.
Present.
Alderman Speedy.
Present.
Alderman Berger.
Present.
Alderman Blanton.
Here.
Alderman Peterson.
Here.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
I'm here.
We have full attendance of the board, and we'll now move to meeting procedure changes. Consideration resolution 2020-001, a resolution declaring that the Board of Mayor and Aldermen shall meet on June the 23rd, 2020 and conduct its essential business by electronic means rather than being required to meet in a quorum of the members physically present in the same location because it is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak. I'd entertain a motion.
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Martin. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Berger. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill, how do you vote? Alderman Barnhill votes yes. Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. We'll now go to citizen comments. This is an opportunity for citizens to make comments on items that are not on the agenda. So do we have anyone on the phone there to make citizen comments, Mr. Stuckey?
Any citizens on the line for citizen comments, items not on the agenda? No one, Mr. Mayor?
We'll then move on. Are there any communications with the Williamson County Commission? I have none. Seeing none, we'll then go to approval of the minutes from the June the 9th, 2020 and June the 9th, work session and Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting.
Move to defer.
Motion to defer because they haven't been completely transcribed. And who was it seconded?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Bransford. Any discussion? All in favor? We'll go through the roll call. Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. I have no recognitions tonight. We do have some miscellaneous reports. I'll recognize Mr. Stuckey.
Yes, thank you. Good evening. I have a couple things I want to walk through for you in terms of some information and some important recognitions. First of all, there are a few items I want to highlight in terms of COVID-19 reopening. We will fully reopen our public offices, both here at City Hall and other city facilities, to their normal hours beginning on Monday. We've had some restricted hours to help with cleaning and protection of the public, but we will extend those hours to our normal hours, both here at City Hall and all city facilities. We do ask folks to be mindful of the symptomatic questions and make sure they're good in those regards before they enter a public building. And also, we will continue to do temperature checks of our team members and those safeguards that we've had in place for some time, but those begin to be open at normal hours beginning Monday at all of our facilities. I will note that I fully expect that our next meeting like this, and starting in July 1, when we have public meetings, we will return to a in-person public meeting setup. They may not be quite the way we had them before the COVID outbreak, but they will be in person. We have an indication we received this morning from the Comptroller's office that we should expect beginning July 1 to have these meetings fit the open meetings and public meeting requirements, which require voting members to be here in person. So we are working on arrangements to do that, and here at City Hall, do it in a way that helps protect our board members, the public, and our staff. And so we'll be making some adjustments, but we expect our next meeting to be here in person at City Hall. The next announcement I want to share with you is the appointment of Glenn Johnson as our interim fire chief. Glenn has taken that job on very willingly, got with him last week in terms of that new responsibility, and want to thank Glenn for stepping up. And I know he'll serve very, very well on the fire department team will respond well to his leadership. And I want to recognize Glenn for taking on that very important responsibility in our community. And then finally, Mayor referenced this, but you will notice tomorrow at city facilities, flags at half mast. You will see a procession through the city starting at 11 a.m. In honor of Destin Legeza, officer from the city of Brentwood, who also has a deep tie to the city of Franklin family and our police department. Scott Legeza is a longtime member of the police department, lieutenant in our police department, and a tragic loss of his son way too young a week ago. So our hearts go out and our prayers are out to the Legeza family, the broader public safety and public service family here in Williamson County. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stuckey. We'll now go to the consent agenda, and all items on the consent agenda are deemed to be non-controversial and routine in nature by the governing body. They will be approved as recommended by committee or staff by one motion of the governing body. The items on the consent agenda will not be discussed. Any member of the governing body desiring to discuss an item on the consent agenda may request it be removed. Considering tonight items 12 through 30. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I'll make a motion, but I would like to pull item 14, and I may not even have a comment when that comes up, but I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
With 14 removed.
Yes.
Is there a second? Seconded by Alderman Bransford. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes. It worked finally.
You must be located in a long way away from here. Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Next is old business. Consideration ordinance 2020-10, an ordinance to rezone 21.24 acres from regional commerce and general office districts to planned development district 11.35-/12320 district for the property located south of Oak Meadow Drive and east of South Royal Oaks Boulevard, Vintage Watson Glen PUD subdivision, canceling the public hearing for July the 14th, 2020, and sending the item back to the Planning Commission on July the 23rd, 2020. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Berger, seconded by Alderman Speedy. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item 5, consideration resolution 2020-47, a resolution approving a development plan for Vintage at Watson Glen PUD subdivision for the property located south of Royal Oak Drive and east of South Royal Oaks Boulevard, canceling the public hearing for July the 14th and sending the item back to the Planning Commission. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Peterson, seconded by Alderman Speedy. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item 6, consideration ordinance 2020-07, an ordinance to amend Chapter 18, Chapter 2 of the Franklin Municipal Code for the purpose of providing for winter pricing for sanitary sewer. Mr. Stuckey, I think you wanted to make a few comments before we entertain a motion.
Yeah, let me speak to this. This is an important change, and owe the board an apology in our a miscalculation that we made. We had calculated the relative impact of this change in our pricing structure to allow for winter pricing. We had originally projected that at around 230,000, and we made a pretty significant mistake in terms of how we extrapolated out a subset of revenue data in our wastewater utility. And that's why this had been deferred several times, because we've been reworking those numbers to make sure we have it right. And we do have a better number now, and it's significantly higher. We believe, and these are estimated numbers, but we believe looking at the last full year compared to this proposed rate structure for winter averaging, that we would lose around $1.7 million of revenue in our wastewater utility. With that much more significant number in place in terms of impact, there's no way I can recommend, or our staff team can recommend this change at this time. It will require a much more, and if you want us to pursue this rate structure, a much more in-depth study of the rate structure itself and of the 5-year plan to accommodate that change in revenue and meet the obligations to run the utility and meet the debt obligations that the fund has. When this was around 1%, it seemed like something that could be easily absorbed. When it's in the 8 to 9% range, that is no longer the case. I apologize for the mistake. It was, like I said, it was a subset of data that was improperly assumed in terms of extrapolating it out over the full utility. And when we went account by account, that number grew significantly larger. And I would suggest that either the board defeat it tonight at second reading or withdraw the item completely. Either way, I don't believe we can move forward with this rate structure this year without fully modifying our rate structure going forward. We can certainly bring this back for more discussion to get your direction now that we have a better picture of revenue impact and how it might impact other ratepayers. But again, I apologize for the error, and I want to thank the staff that identified the potential issue here and the work that went into giving us a better picture here. But I'm sorry we gave you bad information that could have led to an unfortunate decision here. So I want to ask you to defeat this item tonight, and we can bring back future rate structures for your consideration that give us a better picture of the whole. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Stuckey.
Mr. Mayor, I move for disapproval.
Appropriate motion.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Barnhill. Any discussion?
We can't hear you.
Yeah. I have a question.
Okay, we have an appropriate motion and by Alderman Peterson and a second by Alderman Barnhill to defeat the motion. And we have a comment from Alderman Berger.
I just have a question. Eric, would we not just defer this to a later date, even if it's 6 months from now? Or what is the purpose of defeating it totally tonight?
Well, I think you have a bigger question to answer about how your rates are structured. This is going to cause you to need to restructure future rate schedules, et cetera. So this takes much more work and is going to take a little more review by the board. So it's not just a simple change of this rate as we had originally envisioned. I think it has broader implications in terms of our rate structure now and in the next several years.
No. I'll vote it down, but we have been working on this way over a good year and a half. So I'm a little surprised at it.
Any other comments? Seeing none, you ready to vote? Alderman Speedy.
Similarly, I mean, I'll vote to disapprove it, but I guess I would like us to, I mean, I think most of the board members agreed that the concept of we wanted to accurately charge, well, water rates for water and sewer for sewer rates. So I think we should still go down the path of making sure we get these rates correct.
Yeah, what I'd expect we do is bring back to you an updated rate schedule and then probably an updated multi-year outlook from that, because it does have implications broader than just one year's rates. So yeah, we'll give you what that looks like, and maybe there may be some options within that for you to consider as well.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, you ready to vote? How do you vote, Mr. Barnhill?
Yes to disapprove.
Alderman Martin,
Yes.
Alderman Bransford,
Yes to defeat.
Alderman Speedy,
Yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
Yes.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor.
Reluctantly, yes.
Item 7, resolution, the motion to defeat passes unanimously. Item 7, consideration resolution 2020-32, a resolution to award the construction contract, City of Franklin contract number 2019-0230 for the Franklin Road Carter Improvements Project to Civil Constructors LLC in the amount of $12,793,820.10. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Motion by Alderman Martin. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Seconded by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? Ready to vote? How do you vote, Alderman Barnhill?
Yes.
Alderman Martin?
Yes.
Alderman Bransford?
Yes.
Alderman Speedy?
Yes.
Alderman Berger?
I reluctantly vote yes before the McEwen project, but I do vote yes.
Alderman Blanton?
Yes.
Alderman Peterson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon?
I'll offset Alderman Berger's reluctance with an emphatic yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Item 8, consideration of resolution 2020-103, a resolution approving and authorizing the city administrator to pay the contractor an additional bonus for early completion of the Franklin Road Improvements Project. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Motion by Alderman Martin. Is there a
Second.
second? Seconded by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion?
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
We talked about this before, but I just want to be sure that if we are going to give a nice bonus for early completion, that this be inspected carefully. Have you chosen the inspector yet? Paul?
Yes, we have. We're actually doing the inspection in-house ourselves with our own staff. We've recently hired a very qualified inspector that's going to run this project and be handling it internally. And typically we're able to handle our projects much better than consultants as it relates to inspection. One other item just to note is that this hasn't been formally approved by our law department, so approval of this resolution should be contingent upon final approval by our city administrator and by our legal counsel, city attorney.
Great, thank you.
Alderman Martin, will you stipulate in your motion final approval by law department, Mr. Stuckey?
Absolutely.
And let's see, the second was by the Vice Mayor. Will you concur?
I'm quite agreeable.
Okay, any other discussion? Seeing none, ready to vote. Alderman Barnhill.
Yes.
Alderman Martin.
Yes.
Alderman Bransford.
Yes.
Alderman Speedy.
Yes.
Alderman Berger.
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
Yes.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Item number 9, Resolution 2020-101, a resolution to award the construction contract for the Adaptive Signal Control Technology Project to Stansel Electric Company in the amount of $743,157. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Berger. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Peterson. Any discussion? This is an 80-20 match, 80% from the state and 20% from us. So any other discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill, how do you vote?
Yes.
Alderman Martin,
Yes.
Alderman Bransford,
Yes.
Alderman Speedy,
Yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
Yes.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item 10, Resolution 2020-94, resolution to award the FY 2020 on-call annual contract for asphalt work to Four Star Paving LLC. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Berger. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill, how do you vote?
Yes.
Alderman Martin,
Yes.
Alderman Bransford,
Yes.
Alderman Speedy,
Yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
Reluctantly, yes, as per my email from last meeting, but I did have some clarification on some points. I would just like to say that I wish the numbers were different because I would love to keep our money in town to our hometown vendors when we possibly can.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Item number 11, consideration 2020-91, a resolution declaring the city will accept community development block grant coronavirus funds from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and the city will expend these funds by partnering with local agencies to reimburse them for expenses incurred to prevent, prepare, and to respond to the coronavirus COVID-19. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Appropriate motion by Alderman Bransford. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Berger. Any discussion? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill,
Yes.
Alderman Martin,
Yes.
Alderman Bransford,
Yes.
Alderman Speedy,
Yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton.
I'm going to abstain or recuse myself because my employer is on the list. However, I agree with all of the people on that list as beneficiaries or recipients of this CARES Act money.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor McClendon.
Yes.
Passes 7 with 1 abstention. Item 14, consideration ordinance 2020-14, an ordinance to the city of Franklin, Tennessee, adopting a budget for the fiscal year 2021, providing an effective date, third and final reading. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve with my comment.
And is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Peterson. Go ahead, Alderman Barnhill.
Mayor, we've experienced some extremely difficult times and some difficult issues, and we've come across and done the budget. We've had to redo the budget. My concern is that we probably, well, let me just put it this way. if it comes down to it, and it's the term was used, lipstick on a pig, I'm gonna put lipstick on a pig versus employee benefits and employee raises, and I'm gonna be looking for ways that we can do that. I mean, there's issues and things in this capital improvements project budget that could be deferred and not hurt the budget, not take it off the list, just push it out. We have no idea what's coming around the bend or coming around the curve or what we're looking at on this right here. And I'm disappointed that we pull just something like $17,000 from our 501c3s. It's really a token gesture to pull that money, but it probably affects them a lot more negatively than we'll ever balance the budget about. But we've got 700 people, give or take, and I'm just not, and we discussed that at workshop on one particular item. I'm looking at this. I'll continue to look at this, and I will vote to approve the budget. But basically, that's because the 1.2 million for the one project is not even funded. If we fund it, we've got to go back to reserves to get the money to fund the 1.2 million.
Any other comments?
I'll speak to that if I may.
Go ahead, Alderman.
I agree with you, Clyde. I think another good analogy is, I mean, from a personal perspective, you don't remodel your house if you can't afford to buy groceries. And
Correct.
I think that we've got a lot of transportation projects that help move our city, and I think those are important. But I think there's some other projects that can be put on the back burner to take care of our employees. You know, we were paused, I think, was it this summer, Eric, to do a pay study? And I
Yes.
I don't know that that's appropriate either, because I don't know if anybody's pay is going to be actual as to what it was pre-COVID, or some are. But I agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying, Clyde. I think we've got to be diligent stewards of the taxpayers' money and be careful that we are taking care of our needs first and not our wants. And our needs are definitely taking care of our employees and the citizens.
Any other comments?
Mr. Mayor, if I could, I'd like to make a quick comment on, and absolutely our employees are a top priority. I do want to draw a little bit of a distinction when you look at capital projects and some of the things we're looking at there. And when you look at what we do with operations and employee pay, is a difference between ongoing revenue and ongoing operations and something that is more of a set aside or one-time project. And so we need to be careful, and this budget does that in terms of committing one-time money towards what would be an ongoing expense. And that's how you get structurally imbalanced in your budget. So a discussion around capital dollars being diverted to pay is not really how you'd want to structure your budget long-term. We prioritized keeping everybody on, not having any increase in benefit costs within the operating budget when we looked at our ongoing expenses. And we are very careful on how we do that. So I want to just caution us a little bit to say, well, we can not do a project and give people a pay increase. That could get you in trouble down the road if you don't have ongoing revenue to fill that need. So we are very strategically using our reserves to get through these tough times. That's the right thing to do. That's why we have it. But we want to be careful not to divert too much of it towards ongoing costs that we then need to have ongoing revenue coming in the door to help support it, because that could lead you into a difficult structural imbalance years down the line. So I just offer that caution as we talk about comparing projects to comparing what we do on operating budgets. It's not exactly the same pot of dollars. It's something we need to be judicious about. And I just would offer that to you in terms of a word of caution as we talk about how those fit together.
Mayor, one more comment. I do agree with you on that, except for the one thing. The one project that we just got through discussing, we're going to have to go to reserves to fund. And I'm not suggesting that we don't go out and drop a road someplace or drop something else, but we've got some projects in there that are pulling from the cash that could be pushed out. And again, like I said, if push comes to shove, I'm gonna go with the employees. I'll put some more lipstick on the pig.
Any other comments? Ready to vote? Alderman Barnhill,
Yes.
Alderman Martin, Alderman Martin,
Yes.
Alderman Bransford,
Yes.
Alderman Speedy,
Yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
Yes.
Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. I now entertain another motion.
Peace out.
I'll second that.
Any discussion which is not discussable? Let's vote to adjourn. Alderman Barnhill,
Yes.
Alderman Martin,
Yes.
Alderman Bransford,
Yes.
Alderman Speedy,
Yes.
Alderman Berger,
Yes.
Alderman Blanton,
I said yes, I'm sorry.
no problem, Alderman Peterson,
Yes.
and the Vice Mayor.
Yes.
We are adjourned. Good meeting. Thank you, everybody.